I say it all the time. Rumble Studio software. Like, they're the deal. Motherfucker.
Oh, there you go. There you go, big dog. Julian Jackson, Terry Norris. Did you just do that? This one's terrifying. Terry Norris. Yeah, but he's. I don't know why he had more punch power. Short punch. Wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Heavyweight. 47 and 54, right? But watch this Jackson. So crazy. It's like he just shuts it off. He hit Terry Norris. Oh, this is prime Terry Norris. Prime Terry Norris. This is a dangerous Terry Norris. But he just catches. What's it? Okay, so that was the first one. So you heard him with that left hand. He catches the right hand. Just I mean, my hair's like sure. I know. Some guys just like to say, I would be terrified if that was like that. It's just, he knows all his and every time he hits you, you know it too. Fucking terrified. So he's already something up in there. Oh, man, he took two more to I know. Well, he, bro, white, white up. Julian Jackson, terrified. Jerk. Oh, this is wow. Like, I felt like, there's, Gerald McClellan was oh, they all place. Gerald McClellan, Terry Norris. Oh, that's right. That's not right. I didn't know.
The fact that you are amazing is positive for everyone around you.
Jesse Gage, also Simon Brown, and that way, Jackson, Gerald McClellan, and it was shot Frank Graham. Way crazy. That's before. We'll never talk about a Roy Jones fight, and I think he was really strong. Yeah, because Gerald McClellan fell 3 minutes left. And so the Nigel Benn fight, that was Nigel Benn, and that was another. I mean, which, oh, look at that KO. Oh, my goodness. In the rematch. Oh, my goodness. It was always. Yeah. What is that? When I mean, it's like back, the side. Gerald McClellan was coming after you. That's it. Are they going to let him count? had his number times. Well, he was one of the scariest all time. But he tried to empty the gas tank 9% in that first round and survive. And then he winds up having that's one of the scariest ones ever, man, because the rematch. Okay. I remember.
If you ever need anything from me, Kamala, just let me know, period. I'm here to help, period. I hope the day continues to be amazing, period.
And that's what it's that shot five. My goodness. And he was up. Every shot got murdered. Oh, the power just overwhelming. Understand? I think they back stalling. That's probably about the only thing you bring back. Like, hang out, get to work. I stay down to five, and then the president like, what do you think? Shut! What do you guys of Ortega? That's everything changed. But you got a bunch of different ways. And then Ortega can't make it. And so Ortega steps out, and then he winds up fighting Danny. I'm like 40 minutes notice. I was watching DC actually talking about this. Says that he had been training for 5 or 6 weeks. Obviously, might have found a couple of them. But only been training for 3 weeks. And he actually had everybody's gotta come with training, weight up and down and pull down. And that was right. Like at this point, like right now, I really find out what it should be cleaned out. It should be the same way all other countries. Sanctions are not exactly more options weight class. But it would guys hurt. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, the reason why McClellan. One of the things to say about head injury death boxing, the vast majority of them don't take the heavyweight. So the guys who hit the hardest are not the guys who are getting like horrible brain injuries. They're not gonna. The guys who die a lot, like guys who die a lot. Oh my God. A lot of those guys that are dying less. Well, I mean, you're right. Like Sean Brady. Like, dang, no way Sean Brady. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, let them fight it. Let them fight it. He's not going to fight it. Don't get engaged at one night. They should just be fighting. And this way, freedom. You know, we take it heavier than one night. Whatever. We know which way. Let's just make all right. Fuck all this weight cutting. And also, the fucking drama of dehydrating himself enough 24 hours before a cage fight is somehow another. Daniel Cormier pushed down that town. Remember that shit? It's ridiculous. John Jones and Daniel Cormier are fucking killers. Let him eat. Let him hydrate themselves. You know what you pay? Figure out what you take your contract. And just that's you lose about a pound over, a pound under. Well, how about the mic? All right. Well, I mean, going up and like solo, went up to 170, like a couple days, like a week before. They're like, no, you got to go back down to 135. King Solos out, so and he's the champion. He's treated like this. And they're like, you got to go down at 30 pounds. He's cutting 30 pounds. Well, you know, and then they took him out. Wait a minute. Yeah, they took him out. Wait. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, they, like, one total fuck. I didn't do that. Yes, they took him out. I saw it. I was trying to. Yeah, I was shocked. Or after he's cutting 30 pounds. How do you do that? He's cutting 30 pounds a day. What's their stake? 1 week's out. Okay, well, after he's fulfilled his necessary to provide additional content, unlike Musumeci's withdrawal, the one at 168 Denver cards, Delton and Musumeci set up Musumeci. Mike was obviously in a difficult spot when Polo went through injury. What happened close with him and his team on a new opponent. Competing flyweight was something he personally requested, as he felt confident that he could make the hydrated limit of 135 pounds for a world title. Not something that was pushed to him to on short notice, or would have ever demanded of a one athlete, given how much he prioritized fighters. After Mikey failed weight and hydration tests on Thursday, he requested an opponent finishing grappling contest against Roberto Vera, and we continue to work with him to try to keep him on the card. So he also he ultimately felt it was his best interest after the contest. We are honored to try to get certain, and Musumeci will return for one more who will compete for the now belt. Musumeci was diagnosed with pneumonia, a rare condition which interferes from part of the lung. How do you fucking strip a guy when he winds up in the hospital? He didn't fight. Right, exactly. That's a like, imagine now fighting the round in making weight and winds up in the hospital. No. This organization, that's great. Another reason why weight cutting it's not terrible. Yeah, but you know what, man? I think it's part of the culture. I don't think it's possible to eradicate. That's like saying, well, you saw it came along and fixed that, right? You know, and now, that's like, yeah, I also built it. Where is it? He was fighting. That's a picture. Started telling me a picture. Oh, well, they have side by side. It's hard to tell that picture. A big guy. And he's massive. But you know, when he fought, freak of science. He was the freakiest. That dude, like that guy back in the day. That was trash stuff. I know. Like the only like a mistake. Yeah. Mistake he were he needed 65. One Grand Prix champion. Man, funny, you're back on those days, especially the one like what would the world look like now? We were saying some protocols there were no real forget about the TRT days, that was probably less than that was wow guys and stuff that was but when they were just tests at the end, it's a different thing. That's a test at the way. No random. Right. That's for sure. That's the ultimate. That is tough to get back. Yeah, I don't like crazy. But ways to mask but I guess it actually get back. That was kind of like kind of takes away from but I guess. They all guys you gotta make this the most fuck us more than anything is just somebody gets bad. They have guys have failure, guys that die, more weight. You know, weight class, I think one every 10 pounds. But I think we should be a little bit on like what a person weighs. I think we should contractual obligation fight each other. You find out the person what he weighs natural weight 175. You won't fight him. Your natural weight 169. Any higher than 170. With that, that's like total to think at all about at all. And so the day before the fight, instead of dying, about carbs, nutrients, relaxing, you're gonna have a better report, better for the health of the athlete. It's more representation of what a real 155-pound guy looks like. Those guys in there and they're 180 trickers. That is not a 5-pound man. Fucking massive. Way their size contract where they're harder. That way, rationality. Also, I like you will fuck around. So if we have a hydration, like say, if you need to be fighting, and then we're gonna weigh you, and we're gonna check your water levels. We're gonna check your hydration. This is what you actually weigh 182 pounds. I'm ready to go. Okay, so this is you guys are going to track. You're wanting to get more pound. I have to shit down. Show up. We're going to test you at the weight that you're going to fight at. So you can't get any higher than this, and make sure that you're going to check, make sure that you're not fucking around, and then that you're 180 pounds, 100, higher, 4 hours. Let's find out what they do. Maryland, yeah, they weigh. I mean, don't fuck around. Hey, you should have like 196. You want to take a fight? Like 182. There's no other. But time I go to how test forever. I think he has a how much. I think he has a percentage of yeah. Just making sure the guys hydrated. Dehydrated. Wasn't, and also started to fall out. Then also everybody started why? How are you the one that's her big that's not fair. Well, it is fair because they're both good, but it's not right. I have 165 and 165. That's what I'm saying. I was told 10 pounds. Every 10 pounds. 175, 85, 95, 205, maybe 225, and then the biggest fucking guy I don't 65 actually, were so the load was simply 40 fucking pounds. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's so hard to do. Like when you got a guy like as a natural five, which is nuts, falls right there, like right in, like a natural shredded 265. But that's I mean, that's yes, that kind of right. Right. And this, I don't think they have a super heavyweight. I don't think anybody has an active super heavyweight in MMA. No, nobody. I don't think Bell has. Football player. Somebody lets out porn, have a boxing match with Butterbean, celebrity boxing match, and Butterbean not to another dimension. Bro. So this is the kickboxing match. This is nuts. Is this the oh, might have been a football player. Oh, nice five. Big enough. Well, see if you can find there was a boxing match that had against some football player. Poor Butterbean, that guy. Couldn't walk, couldn't make. But now, celebrity boxing, that's probably now, I'm not dumbass now. Another one? Like, put on the hash. Really fucked it back. That's I like doing. Got shot. Oh, he looks like he's getting shot. This is one of those guys that, somebody should This is a bad idea. Eventually, fucking crazy looking dude's gonna get you. The thing about but you know, they don't think that a ass mustache. See if you can find out what someone missed the highlight. So is he stopping here? The guy that I saw it was just crazy to watch a guy who flew over like 4 rounds. Like the bare knuckle talking about like very that's the perfect spot for that dude. He should have told Jake Paul, "Hi, bare knuckle, go." I'll do this. Well, it's like you know, you gotta take fight. And Jake Paul gets got bigger, younger you know, I think he's like any other young up-and-coming boxer, but for sure. But I was there when I got tired. I never wanted to order another in my life. I was like, this is not for an hour, and it was, I was hard. Yes, real. And that's why I get my company. I was like, man, they should. I really. I just feel bummed down like it, right? Like, what are the sport are we that a 50-year-old on the dog? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we letting this? I need just in a way that he doesn't expect. And Mike also has layers of attacks that are in his mind. He's forgotten more about Jake Paul has ever remembered. How quickly Kevin has how much damage got. Also, how is it now? Might have been excited. Months. Wish he said yes to it. How's his health? How's his back? How's his yeah. He's probably also, wait. That's another. Look at the monster. If you that monster just moving and he of course below on street, that will be wild. Like every area of the world. Best case scenario. Best case scenario. Mike Tyson. Round or two, first time. I think eight rounds. I think they have. Do they have 10 ounces or 12 ounces? I think they have slightly 14 ounces. That's far. Thank you. How do you? My wife was around. Like, welcome to Texas, baby. Yeah, you can have a zebra here. Zebra got out. They got a more tigers captive in private collection. All wild. Yes, that's true. thousands of tigers in private collections in Texas. Bro, this is crazy. And they got that's crazy. Days on it. Yeah, Bengal tiger was on the nearly a week. That's he got all that. That's where they're all tired. Like yeah. Fucking tiger. What? That is a photograph, a famous photograph. That photo. The cops are through the right there, looking. This guy had a tiger. Look at that. Bro, how insane is that photo? Was the guy? I don't think the guy got killed. I think they just found out the guy had a tiger. Then they had to drag him out. Yeah, the dude's a 450-pound cat. Fucking up. Like, how do you clean up after? Not well. I think everywhere. I'm not pissing on smell. Oh, that would have. Bro, that guy was tigered out. All in. I know. Tigers on your walls. Oh, what do you tell them? Newspaper. Who did the documentary? Crazy. Yeah. Anybody like that? I mean, so far away. You know what's crazy? I am bro, it's not. It's not. Fucking tell you. People's desire to have things that you don't know. So I'll just listen to money. That's what. How's that alien? Oh no, I heard it. Really? Yeah, I heard it's scary as fuck. I heard it like back to like the first alien. Like the part of mine scary. Like after a while, it's everywhere. You know, like the first one, find that fucker. Yeah, like around. Alien. Because it's on it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Great. Oh, fucking great. That's it. Get over, man. That was a kind of right. God, Ridley Scott first. And you sense terrifying, and people start coming up missing, and you're gonna fucking hide in the ceiling. However, then all of a sudden they get out. You're like, what? Oh, it's a good. She first male or female of a monster action movie where you didn't go, oh, they're pushing a woman on. She's right. This scientist got stuck in this fucking station. Aliens, but alien death. Target kill. Aliens, left and right, they're all over. Alien been done timeless. But it is when they kill so many of them to get to the mother, and then when mother doesn't kill her when she's wearing the robes, like she's like, but I like it because I get away from her. First, yeah, second, they were prepared what they were coming out. I don't buy it. If she's in a profile thing, which is the case, okay, but she's all out there. How's that not gonna fuck? He's basketball. Moments in that though, and then like breaking themselves in the room, like the monitor, and they're like, oh, that's inside the room, inside the room. All step and then much of for me, one after that. What was that one? The last one. Kenny Friday. That was the fucked off. that one too.
What's up, pimp? How you living, GB? What's what's good? Yeah, I've had my days and nights switch. What's good in your neck of the woods? Yeah, wow, quite surprising. I am really still in shock, and I hope that we have a peaceful transition of power, and that hopefully we can see peace in the world. I hope so. Completely. Wait, GB, completely wrong. I don't know. Now I'm as shocked as anybody else. Um, I mean, I kind of always said that it could have just been a dream. You never know. But yeah, I have no further predictions when it comes to this topic. And one thing that I do know, at least in my dream, I did say that you're going to be wrong on a few things, and it'll be funny in the how it all works out. But usually those had to do with sports predictions. This one I felt in my gut that this one was solid. But things happen. All I know is that we are going to have the 45th president as the 47th president, and I am ready to sit alongside everybody else and see what happens. Absolutely. It will be quite interesting to see what happens. I agree. I think it'll be quite interesting to see what happens, and I hope that we're able to move closer to a peace process in the wars that are being fought, and get back to a place where, especially the United States, does not have any role in any overseas conflicts. I do. Yeah, it's. I'm in agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you on that. And look at what old school Bitcoin has done, and what it perhaps may do for the market. And as they say, a rising tide lifts all ships, and perhaps it will lift new school Bitcoin. I agree. I think of any time to buy uh, new Bitcoin Harry Potter, it's now. I mean, we had our all time high, and then we have seen a good position of essentially a low, um, and now it's starting to gain again. And with that, it's a great opportunity because if I mean, I was watching some charts. I was watching old school Bitcoin's chart, and like in 2012, it's had this like 4 year cycle. So 2012, it went up a huge amount. 2016, it went up a huge amount. 2020, it went up a huge amount, and now it's supposed to do that in 2024. And I think like in something like March of this year, it was 70. It was worth $70,000. Now it's worth $81,000, and 93 this morning. Holy shit. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Well, only looks like it's going to get more than that, too. Wow, 93. That's incredible. So essentially, since the election, it's gone up like 8%, something like that. That's incredible. I mean, that's been like a week and a few days. Well, right. It seems like it has a certain future, and I'm very excited with what our old school Bitcoin's going to do, and or I'm sorry, with our new school Bitcoin, and see what happens, and eventually, hopefully, we're able to overtake old school Bitcoin, which there are chances that it could happen with the right activity. So that's an exciting opportunity too. What are your thoughts on all these shit coins that have emerged that always emerge? That like there's a peanut coin, right? Am I wrong on this? Or like you're on Twitter, you're on you're on Twitter Spaces more than I am, but so you're aware and how it's been performing and such. And that one, I mean, I don't know. I know this was an interesting one. We had a guy in here like 2 weeks ago who was like, "Hey, can I talk to you about a coin?" I'm like, "Go for it." And he's like, "Okay, it's called Trump One," and that coin has performed very, very well for that group of people. And I mean, they were basically banking on the. It was a good name because even if he lost, they could still go with his support group or whatever. And but yeah, it seems like the people who doubled down on that are doing quite well. Doge is making moves, right? So if I understand this correctly, old new school Bitcoin is um comparative to Doge. Is that correct? Right. Have we ever surpassed them? Surpassed them? Like a month ago, we were at 31 cents. Have we ever surpassed them? What do you know what their market cap is? Yeah, that's giant. Okay. Well, yeah, exactly. We just need our 1 billion, and then we have our yacht party in Cancun. That's right. I mean, you never know. The way it was going, it was looking like it was going to be perhaps by Thanksgiving. So, you know, we might see it by the end of the year. You never know. But I think there's going to be a lot of movement in the crypto world in the positive direction between now and the inauguration. So, you want to buy? I mean, I'm talking to a very well invested member of the community, but as you know, it looks like things could definitely happen in the next 2 months because it's kind of a dead period for the president. So the economy's got to start pumping somehow, right? um, it was like it was literally like the Democratic Party was like, hey, let's set the world's biggest mousetrap for our opponents. And we're going to do it on this date, in this place, and we're going to get them all riled up. And then we're just going to let them do whatever they want. And then we're going to essentially get rid of the major core of the Republican Party. And at least the grassroots element of it. And then we're going to parade them for the next 4 years or whatever. And I'm not saying what those people did was right by any means. It's trespassing, and a woman died, and all the other things, or an officer died, I should say. And I believe, but um, I also understand what I saw what happened, just like you saw what happened, where it was like, all right, well, come on in. So there was kind of that element of it too. So frankly, I think both sides are pretty dirty when it comes to what they've done. Yeah, it was pretty brilliant. If that's what they were doing, but you would think I mean, if it was so brilliant that they would have won the election this year, and they easily could have. I can name 10 people that they could have run who would have been better candidates, and you could too. Oh, who are women perhaps of color, who are, I mean, literally, I could find any manager at a Taco Bell that's better. Probably they have management experience, leadership experience. They've probably had to pass some morality checks, and um, I would take that person over anyone. Not over anyone, but over anyone and that includes Trump or Harris. I think that both of them are kind of scummy, not just kind of, extremely. And could I have, if I could have had anyone, I would have loved to see Dr. Ron Paul, but that is just the libertarian in me, and I don't. I know that day is done, but back in the day, he had quite a lot of support amongst grassroots individuals, especially with his fiscal policies. And really, we're at a place in this, at least in the United States, where there's just so much debt that it's it's basically we are beholden to the bankers of the world. Right, right. Um, right. Uh, Jerome Powell. Okay, right. I'm in agreement with you on that. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Um, yeah, I mean, once you get governments involved, then you're going to get more regulation, and I mean, then little things could really be affected. Like the SEC might get involved and say that we can't even have our Telegram because that's considered insider trading, which which I honestly think is the truth. if this were a stock group, and we could just be like, oh yeah, Morelight's going to be fighting BitBoy. We know that the coin's going to get a ton of advertising. That's insider trading. It would be the same as if we were to say, hey, um, BitBoy is fighting Morelight, and it's going to be on NBC. Buy a bunch of Comcast Universal stock, or it's going to be on ESPN. Buy a bunch of Disney and Hearst stock, or it's going to be on CBS. Buy a bunch of Viacom stock, or it's going to be on Fox. Buy a bunch of News Corp stock. I mean, but but I can just see that in the future that these types of conversations may be regulated. Hey, what do you think of GameStop? It's at like $26, which I mean it's candled like incredibly. And then the other one that's been interesting, Tesla. Tesla over the course of the last like 10 days or something has like had an incredible performance. Exactly. Let me get you some figures on this one. At least Tesla recently. I saw someone was like, "Yeah, I invested $100,000 in Tesla, and now it's worth $8 million over the course of the last 12 days or something." It's crazy. Hold on, Tesla stock. We'll just look at Tesla stock in the news. So currently, it's up 5%. Oh no, it's up 2% today. Um, okay, so it's $333. It is. Um, Let me look at it just recently chart. Okay, so it's oh come on Google, give me the 5 day and the 1 month and all that. Okay, let me go to Market Watch and I can get it. All right, so all right, in the past month, wow. Okay, so it was it was like $210 a month ago, and it's $333 now. Um, so that's I don't know. Yeah, but you have to understand. I would think you would think that at the outset, but if you really recognize what Tesla is, it's a robot company that makes cars. It's not a car company that makes robots, and it's becoming much more a robot company. And have you seen the Optimus? Right, that thing is gonna have a major effect on society. That could replace basically anybody's job. Yeah, ex- ex- exactly. I mean, they'll be more specified for their industries. But I think really people are going for the ultimate dream within robotics is well probably a sex bot, but in reality a humanoid, a truthful like a something that's near indiscernible or indiscernible from a real human. And so that's why they're focusing all their modeling on that. And then also when you want to show it to the public, you can show them one of those bots that Amazon has or something like that, or the dog of Boston Dynamics. That's impressive. Not saying that it's not, but the next question that everyone asks is, okay, well, when are you going to be able to build one that looks like me? And so Tesla just says, you know what, we're going to beat everybody to the punch on this one or on in this aspect. We're going to do what we can to be able to develop this. But I mean, for as good as the American robots are, they're not half as good as the Japanese robots. Right, right. That's true. That's absolutely true. Right. I'm in agreement with you on that. And I don't want anything implanted in me. I will be the last person. Now, what I will take is wireless transfer. And like, if you have a way to be able to say, "Hey, Rabbi, we're gonna put the entire encyclopedia in your brain," okay, that's cool with me. Can you do it wirelessly? Yeah. All right. And you've worked this through a bunch of other people too, and yep, okay. And it works every time, 100%. Yep. Okay, I'll take that. However, the second that you say all we have to do is drill into your skull, stop right there. I'll wait until you can do this in a more efficient manner. And now, if unfortunately something ever happened where, hey, Rabbi is paraplegic or quadriplegic and can't use his body the way that, hey, then do whatever the fuck, turn me into a science experiment, do whatever you can so that I can play pong. I don't care. But fortunately, I'm not in that situation right now, and the fact that I'm not, you can keep all of the brain computer interfaces you want. I'll watch them and I'll talk about them and I'll promote them, but until we're able to have a wireless brain transfer that works 100% of the time, I don't want any part of this. Right. 100%. I agree with you. In fact, GB, this is going to sound very strange. I don't think it's strange though. This is how I imagine in the future. Once you can do that kind of um telepathic communication and we meet other aliens or we meet aliens or whatever, If you can get their consent, I think you should be able to have sex with them. Exactly. But there's going to be the flip side of this too. There are going to be people who want to have sex with animals. And right now, I think that that's wrong, specifically because the animal cannot consent, so it's rape and it's a strange kind of rape. But if you can get the animal to consent, that's going to be an interesting case. It really is. Right. But I mean, if we can, I just, I see somebody's going to want that. Oh, oh, dude, totally. 100% on that. Absolutely. You can definitely. It's gene editing. Yeah, but I mean, we even have people in our community who I would say have had body modifications to look like things. So if they're willing to have, like, I think specifically of someone who has like vampire-like canines, if they're willing to do that, then I'm sure we get another person who says, "Hey, I want cat ears." There's that, but I mean, probably more realistic is just like they do with someone who's going through transgender surgery. They could just take a part of your body that currently exists and then implant it in your head, so long as your body doesn't reject it. There are probably ways as well to manipulate the skin on the skull and like pull up on it. And I mean, what and and right, and then even the thought of like you could take stem cells or human growth hormone or both and inject it in a certain area of your body and perhaps get um some type of non-traditional growth in that area just because it's been inundated with all kinds of different hormones and such. 100%. So GB, don't ever give up on your dream of having cat ears. I know it's your secret desire. Hey, you were talking about reading brainwaves. You know what kind of technology arguably is probably the thing that records all that shit better than anything, and that's Wi-Fi. Have you ever seen how Wi-Fi works in your house? Like you'll have you know what I'm talking about then. And so that's able to basically respond or record all kinds of different waves that are going in your wherever you are. And so there's a thought that you might have all of your memory and all of your actions already being recorded and you don't even know it. That's true. That's true. And then for anything that doesn't cover, you have cell wireless signals that could do it. Absolutely. Well, GB, GB with, well, wait, an animal that's not a human, because we know, yeah, but I could easily see that. I could see some some Scandinavian country passing it first, and then they'll say like, unless there's like an emergency situation or you're an indigenous people who have been hunting for XYZ amount, we want to start getting rid of commercial fishing, and then eventually, individuals fishing, and then perhaps then you just can't kill any animal. Well, you got to think. Imagine those what you've seen in science fiction and how futurism moves. Eventually, those types of civilizations don't kill animals anymore. So we have to kind of ask ourselves, not saying that that has to happen, but eventually, I would imagine that if you can replace meat with lab grown meat or 3D printed meat, there's really not an argument to kill animals anymore, unless you have something where you need to call the herd due to overpopulation issues. I get that, but that's still a bygone era. In the future, when you are completely reliant on the government and government subsidies, and you can buy your lab grown meat or I mean, really, that'll probably only be for the really wealthy people. They'll probably feeding people insects for protein, and then eventually just turning it into like Soylent Green. Do you know what Soylent Green is, GB? Yeah, exactly. I mean, they already sell it. They already sell us a product called Soylent Green on Amazon. Pepsi, Pepsi has stem cell flavored soda. Dog, we're looking it up right now. This is fucking wild. The strangest thing I ever heard about that is that if you read it backwards, it says is dead. But let's take a look at this. Yo, dog, please tell me about stem cells that are allegedly in Pepsi. Yo, it sounds like you're asking about stem cells and their connection to Pepsi. There's a rumor that Pepsi and some other companies uh, that have used stem cells, particularly those of aborted fetuses, in the development of certain flavor enhancing processes or in the testing of food products. This often refers to a cell line called HEK293, human embryonic kidney cells. Holy shit. Which was originally derived from a fetus back in the 1970s. These cells were used for various scientific purposes, including testing for flavors, drugs, and vaccines. However, it's important to note that PepsiCo itself does not use stem cells directly from their beverages. Well, no, they just buy the contractor. The HEK293 cells have been used in lab testing, but that doesn't mean the cells are in Pepsi products. The controversy generally comes from the use of these cells in labs for research, not in the end products you drink. The connection between stem cells and Pepsi mostly arises from the indirect use of cell lines in research, which has sparked ethical debates. But rest assured, there's no stem cell ingredient in your Pepsi can. I get what you're saying. That's fucking Big Brother telling me to just keep cool and carry on. And I want to know more about this. What in the fuck is HEK 293 and what products is it in? One moment. Here we go. HEK, human embryonic kidney 293 cells, are formed in human cells that were originally derived from the kidney tissue of a fetus back in the 1970s. They're not used directly in consumer products, but have become a common tool in biomedical research. Scientists use HEK 293 cells in lab testing for things such as pharmaceuticals, vaccines, and flavor testing because they can grow quickly and respond predictably. As for consumer products, these cells themselves aren't in anything you eat or drink. So apparently they're not in what you eat or drink, but perhaps for the testing of it they're used. However, they have been used in research related to flavor enhancers and artificial sweeteners. Some companies might use cells to test how certain compounds interact with human taste receptors. All right, this is my favorite one of these. Hold on, and we're gonna end it on this because I gotta go to the bathroom. Um, aspartame. Yo, dog, can you please tell me all about how bad aspartame is and Donald Rumsfeld's role in it, and also how it's like bacteria regurgitation, and also that it was discovered by a scientist who was licking his finger in the laboratory and noticed it was really, really sweet? All right, let's break it down. Aspartame is the artificial sweetener used in tons of low calorie and sugar free products. It's about 200 times sweeter than sugar, so only a tiny amount is made to make things sweet. The bad rap about aspartame largely comes from concerns about its safety, especially with long term consumption. Some people have claim links to things like cancer, headaches, and other health issues, but scientific studies haven't definitively proven we know why. As for Donald Rumsfeld, he was actually involved in the approval process for aspartame when he was CEO of Searle, the company that developed aspartame. After some FDA rejections over safety concerns, Rumsfeld was instrumental in pushing the approval through the 1980s. This raised some eyebrows because people thought he might have had too much sway in the process. The bacterial regurgitation bit you mentioned sounds like a reference to aspartame's chemical breakdown. When it's consumed, it breaks down into phenylalanine, and aspartic acid, and methanol, which are common compounds found in the body. Some people are particularly sensitive to that chemical, especially those with a condition called PKU, which makes them unable to metabolize it properly. But for most people, it's not an issue. Finally, the discovery issue story is true, but a bit humorous. Aspartame was discovered by a chemist named James M. Schlatter in 1965 when he accidentally tasted it after licking his finger. He was working on a drug project, and the sweet taste led to the discovery of aspartame's intense sweetness, which eventually led to the development of a sweetener. There you go, man. GB, who knew? Who knew what we started with the election and we end on HEK, human embryonic kidney cells. Thank you so much for your time, my man. I'm gonna get some water, go to the bathroom. You feel free to stay if you want, but and if I come back, we're here. But if not, please know that I love talking to you, and I look forward to many more conversations with you in the future. Okay, big dog? Take care, man. Shout out to GB, everybody.
people up there. We hear that look there's that. They always want me to speak another language. It is kind of like this is India. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted it. They wanted it. This is why would they apology? But there's something about like regular modern English. I mean, be like, like, yeah, you know what English are? Yeah, that's a question. I don't think they. I don't think they Latin. I mean, they speak Italian. He translated, I think, German and a couple other languages. It got translated. Then he could read the Bible himself, whereas before it was just Latin. So when did Latin die out? When did they start using Latin's illegal? Like you learn it in school. So Latin and Greek. Like when did Latin? It's so crazy. The Roman part language is dead. Right? Like go on now. That's probably stuff. Right. After the fall of Rome, local Latin dialect. Wow. These dialects are richer. All modern English. I mean, that's not out of English. English. Right. Like 500. I mean, there's enough. Texas is way bigger than all of them. You know, which is nuts. Like Europe is America, basically, right? It's all a different, right? So much different. You know? That's right. 20. Yeah. And so okay. So I'm sorry. But still, language is still girl. Did you guys ever watch? And I watched it more than once. I watched it times. I have and it is a fucking great. Very cool. Oh, oh my God. Yeah, I got shit on the ice. A real I highly recommend play it. Great. And the other was it is so great. And it is going to and Titus badass. But Titus still badass. This, oh my God, it's such a I never have you know your chick sure possibly America horrible. And you that shit like There is something to be said for drinking things that have a high sugar content after hard drugs. That's a fact. And you know who used to do that? Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather used to have these crazy workouts and crack open a Pepsi. But what the fuck is he doing? Like, he's crazy. But no, he's not. He's smart. Like, it's hard to work out. You're flooding yourself in. You're getting that muscle back in a crazy way that you're not going to get. Well, like, I don't recommend drinking. I like it's fun. I like drinking soda. But he used to drink it after training. That's like Paul Feller after a long life. Yeah. Like, soda. Best times. Every week goes. Yeah, I mean, and you would think, like, there's no way this guy body like a temple. Yeah, he's smart. That guy did it the right way. Never drank, never partied, never was out of shit, never got fat, would run home from the clock in the morning in his jeans, and if he gets him, never out of shit. He got all the way. Like, I'm not making. He was just different. Harder. And also, I can't knock him down. Knocked down. Knocked down again. That's right. He's the greatest lead all time. If Fox and don't get it better than zero. How many people practice in his chop. The more crack. Conor McGregor. And so then got back on spike about boxing. But here it is. Here it is. Got knocked out. Goes to the red. Rounds back. And make now one FC. I didn't know. That's more time. And he fought Jonathan Haggerty. Which yeah. But I saw an interesting breakdown here. So Haggett, what did he thought about that overall? Like real quick, I think KO. So they had a real good fight in the first fight 6 years ago. Haggerty became champion. Everybody thought much different fight. But what I saw, someone broke down. There was a video breakdown of his tell that Haggerty has a certain in it, and then like a time when he tried it earlier in the round, didn't catch it, and in this one, look at the curve. I mean, his head on perfect elbow. The thing that I love that one FC is doing, I don't know what I love is they're having a world class. in these giant cars where like tens of thousands of people on Amazon, and it's millions of people are going to see it around the world on Amazon and on the internet, all these and it's exposing people to guys that are just like super high level strikers. Nothing about 200 fights. Like Rothang, the first Rothang wasn't the one. Sure. Right now, fucking just brought me back to why they does. Oh, and that fight I think was what by against Ron School. Really? Yeah, he busted his eye wide open. He stopped the fight because that's interesting. Yeah, this one, this is prime. That's Madison Park. It's November 6th. Yeah. South Carolina. South Carolina. Is it wonderful? Like Rambo, Rain on the left. I think they're down there. Here. Well, you're still the last one. Hard kicks. I can't watch it. Crazy. I can't watch it. But it's like you're trying to point. Such a mess. That last fight was a bummer. Kind of. I feel like I keep saying it, but I feel like no reason why it doesn't make any sense. Like a bag. Cover it like a bag. I mean, I just don't understand why, like, how they could solve the problem. They're like, no problem. I got this fucking eye. Yeah, still the same setup. Really want, like, I feel like if you're gonna have the fingerless ones, Trevor Whitman are the best. Right. Curve down, right? Curve in. Hard. But you're staying in this position. Like, you have to struggle. Right. Your hand actually. Like, how did they think that? There's no reason to not cover the fingers like a bag. Have a piece of leather, fingertips. So you have one thing. It's not going to invade grappling. It's not going to change your striking. It's not going to change it. Yeah. Keep it close. And this way, at least poking the eye, you're getting like this. You're not getting something that goes your eyeball, right? Have a covered with something like that. Have like over the top, like a you're not getting any deep in your eye with a fingernail, which is what you get right now. So you get the hooks in your fingernails. By just covering it, I think you remember we're trying to take more? Right. So you want to give the best training gloves. All of that use the best materials, like very different, like super high tech density foam, better with putting and better. They did all the one is a crazy amount of money. I don't know what Trevor. I love Trevor, but I'm a big fan of his stuff. I was up to date. I would figure out a way to work. Yeah, for sure. Something crazy. He just fights on the card, on the Bahamas. That's a bad one. That's an interesting fight on the undercard. Fight Manuel Torres is also. Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a really good fight. That's one of them under the radar fights. People here like this color sure did. Man, Manuel Torres fight his last fight. Hell out of it. He did. Baja Monday throws fire shit. Oh yeah, Chris. Yeah. And he, I thought was kind of. But you know why, right? Cashier and her choke, and like he was just kind of biased. Right. But he put up. It was kind of close. It wasn't. You know, I mean, it means something. If you're gonna do that, do that all the time. Anytime someone gets a choke, that's a 10-9 already. You already got a 10-9. Anything that now it's like boxing. Right. This is 10-8 rounds is more like Alvin and beyond pulling his back entire round. Right. Threatening. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But it's 8 is like you dominate. And I don't even give out points. Like I don't think you got 10-8. Oh, I know. Well, I don't know. Fucking. Fight. 45 or bad motherfucker. But I think.
Gotcha, bitches. Damn. These motherfuckers aren't waiting 8 fucking minutes to ban everybody's favorite rabbi. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Amazing.
Remember, there's a way to yeah. Weight and on top of that, like change the weight class on top of that makes like you fucking fast. No, you fast. I was I heard they're talking about rhythm apparently trained. Yeah, people think it's good. It's a very fun fight. All these guys are fight. But they gotta have fun.
Oh what the fuck is that?
Every that's a they hired other like yeah, like it's just been like 40 years smart with they should some kind of or something. And so try to see what was going on inside of there. That's great. Great. $20 million. Yeah. I think what's fun and he just Sean O'Malley. I know that one of the times let that go. Really does. God damn, that guy terrifying. Terrifying. That's a guy 70,000. but my price was like a front runner, like no other. No, you're right. When Martin was in his prime, when he knocked out Aldo, bro, I forgot about right. He was so big, 35 inches. Marley had a coach that I from the front leg. He did so slick, so fast. There was psychological aspects to it. There was like something, it was, and it wasn't like Morale. Like Morale reminds me of memory in there. I used to fucking street fight with a coke.
What's up, Tim? How are you? Flax, the man, the myth, the legend. What's good in the hood, Flax Life? Living the dream. Every day's a holiday, every meal's a feast. How are things in your neck of the woods? What did they do to you? What did you do to get banned? What'd you do? What'd you do? Come on, tell Rabbi the whole story. Okay, okay, I understand that. How are other things going on Kick? That's true. Have you seen what cryptocurrency's done? Specifically Bitcoin? Right. Yeah. I was told 93,000 today. And as you know, I'm sponsored by cryptocurrency, so it's doing well as well. I'm telling you, buy while you can. If you can get into Bitcoin, do it as much as you can. I mean, in the last 10 days, it's gone up 20 or $13,000. I think we've already seen it. As I understand, at least thus far, Bitcoin has gone through 4 rounds of major growth. Starting with 2012, it it had its first round. Then it would peak and dip and peak and dip. Then 2016, then 2020, and now 2024. So it might be the right time. Yeah, absolutely. So basically, what you have to do is outpace it, and the only way that you're really able to do so is, well, one of the major ways is through cryptocurrency, through investment. So if you're looking at inflation at a lowest 2% every year, you know that your Federal Reserve note, your dollar bill is going to be worth 2% less every year. So in 50 years, it'll be worth essentially zero or what it once was. So you can say, all right, I can just sit on the money, or I can make my money work for me. Now, Flex, I completely understand. You're like, look, Rabbi, I'm just like a normal guy. I don't have tons of money to invest in cryptocurrency. I totally get that because what you're doing is going to have such a better effect, not just for you, but for your wallet. You're creating content, and that's what it's about. Creating content, being an influencer, you'll be able to write your own check in the future. So I wouldn't worry too much about it if you can't get really invested in this round of Bitcoin because frankly, you are making your own brand, you have your own image, and with that, you'll be able to write your own way.
Wait, oh, Rabbi, I got
I've been well, thank you. Gotten a, I've become friends with Eddie Craven on Discord, which is good. I did an interview pretty recently, or within the last month, with Ori and Sam Bond. Those went really well. And then what I've done is I got like a bunch of different devices and different discords. So I've made many new friends in Discord, but also I just like live stream in there all the time and get people's attention. And I've seen a lot of growth in that. Rock of the Discord whenever you're going to be in here, there's a good chance that you're going to find Caspian Sea. And I've had some other friends join us as well. We've had some girls in here, which is great. And I'm just getting more and more well known. So that's what I'm. That's what's important to me. Absolutely, man. I mean, I had them before. I got them now. Hey, if you have a chance, follow Caspian Sea on Kick. He's a Kick streamer as well, and he does streaming. And I know that you've had a little bit of discussions with him in the past, and or I think he like talked to you in the chat recently. And so I know he's a fan of yours, and as am I. I mean, that's how you got my attention. You've got a really great community. How's your community been?
they be here chilling. They be it's like,
They're wild. They're wild. You know they're wild. But are they keeping you out of trouble?
uh,
That's right. That's right. So, um, when it like I can't imagine what I don't want to know what you did to get banned. You got a week, and did you learn your
oh
lesson?
no, I didn't do anything. I could have gone it like I'm good. Yeah, it was something I
Okay, Flax. I think that they're too like even for as wide open as Kick is. I think they're too strict on some things. So just know whatever you said, I got your back. And people make mistakes. I'm glad that they gave you another shot. I was just checking actually right when you came in. So I've got my Kick bots going, and I oh yeah, and the thing is, Eddie, I made a video. If you have a chance, watch my interview with Ori, where I show him in the Kick sign up process, they have a major error. So basically, whenever anybody's signing up for Kick, there's only like a 50% chance that it's going to work, and they generally on a desktop computer. And I was able to document the issue for Eddie, and that's when he accepted my friend invitation on Discord, and I was able to hopefully help the organization a little bit because it has so much opportunity. And
yeah, because there's like a god of
yeah, oh, okay, so there's another person who does this.
no, no, it's like a
Oh, you have your oh wow, yeah, especially if they could do something about that. Um, but I really think Eddie is a great CEO. He listens. He has that weekly call. He's open to new ideas, and I just so like of all of the platforms on which you are, Flax, you're on the right one, and you're
oh, there it goes right there.
who there who goes.
No,
All right, do you want to name them?
no, I don't.
So when he stopped, did you block him?
No, like him.
And he's a real person?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. So what are your big plans for the future and the growth of your stream?
Well, uh,
Okay. Absolutely. So just some alpha that I've developed over the course since we last spoken. I have a lot of different devices, and I basically just use them to sit in the biggest VC on Discord. And so people go in, they check out my profile, they click on it, and then they join my Discord. So we've seen a lot of Discord growth. And then people are like, then you're everywhere. Like, basically, Flash, you could be, if you wanted, like, famous basically on Discord overnight. You just had a couple of devices while you're streaming. All you do is just make sure that your other devices are in the biggest Discords as well. People will ask you what you're doing. They'll see that you're a streamer, and Flash, you're gonna be giant. You're gonna be giant. You're gonna be giant.
I don't want to be a
You're
giant.
gonna be giant, dog, and that's gonna be exciting. So you can maintain your anonymity as long as you want, uh, but just know when all is said and done, you're gonna be one of the great interviews of my life and one of the great streamers in the history of the Kick platform.
All right, yo.
What's up, Venom?
All right, man.
Hey, Flax, peace and love, man. Come by whenever you want. I'm a huge fan, you know that, and I want to support you in everything you do. Okay?
All right.
Take care, Flax. Take care of Flax's community. Shout out to Flax. You as well. What's good, Venom? Just living the dream, dog. Just shouting out to people on Kick. Yes, I do. You look great. You look as beautiful as ever. Dog, I talked to you like earlier today. I was yelling at you. Hey, Venom, you came in. I said hello.
I know. You need to be right.
Yeah, dude, I do, and I appreciate you coming in. I really do. So,
This server.
did you work overnight?
Me right now? No, I'm not working.
No, did you work overnight? Oh, you're going to school. Okay, I gotcha. What are you studying?
Right now, I'm studying aerospace science.
That's an excellent vocation. Good on you. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I love it. I feel like it's better than working, right? School for how many years I'm doing it.
What is your favorite aviation?
You said
What's your favorite aviation?
my favorite
Aviation.
aviation right now is I like building rockets.
Very, very cool. Excellent. Do you want to be a rocket scientist?
Yeah, honestly, I want to build a rocket. So,
That's amazing, Venom. Well, if Elon Musk or anyone from SpaceX or any of those related companies see this now or in the future, hire my man Venom. He's going to be one of the great rocket scientists of the future.
you're a dog, bro. I love you, bro.
Absolutely, Venom. But I just want to make sure you're aware. Just so you know, in the future, uh, we won't be perhaps using rockets as much as we will perhaps something. Do you know about the space elevator?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So don't 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 slouch on that either, because they might need help with the space elevator in addition to rockets. So
Facts,
absolutely.
facts.
All right. So what's your favorite kind of clandestine plane?
But I don't know what does that mean.
Oh, great question. Like a black budget plane, one that like isn't publicized. Like
I would say anything about Brahmin, not in general, but
excellent. So you know, like the B-2 bomber, like the F-117 Nighthawk. You know what I'm referencing?
yeah, yeah.
Excellent. So those were declassified in the late 80s, early 90s, and um, so before they were declassified, they were clandestine uh, planes essentially, and basically we haven't had a major declassification of a plane since then. In fact, let me check this fact because this is actually really interesting. So before the like F-117, we had the SR-71, and um, so if I go to ChatGPT and I ask it about this very question, yo dog, like towards the end of the 1980s and 19 early 1990s, I believe the B-2 stealth bomber and the F-117 Nighthawk were declassified. When was the last time? Can you please give me a timeline of major declassifications before and after that in the realm of aviation for the United States government? Excellent. So you're right about the declassification of the B-2 Spirit and F-117 Nighthawk in the late 1980s and early 1990s, which marked significant moments in U.S. military aviation history. Here's a general timeline of the major declassifications of U.S. aviation, focusing on high-tech aircraft and programs. So in the 1950s and 1960s, we had the U-2 spy plane, the Lockheed U-2 reconnaissance plane developed by the CIA was used for high-altitude reconnaissance over the Soviet Union. Although the U-2 was secretly operated, it was not fully declassified until after it was shot down in 1960, leading to an official acknowledgement of its existence. Okay, then in the 60s, there's the SR-71 Blackbird. 1964, the SR-71 Blackbird, the world's fastest aircraft at the time, was developed by the U.S. Air Force and CIA for high altitude reconnaissance. It was declassified in 1990, although details about its capabilities were slowly revealed over the years. The Blackbird was used for reconnaissance missions over hostile territories during the Cold War. 1970s F-111 and early stealth concepts. The F-111, developed as a long-range supersonic bomber, was used by the U.S. Air Force and Navy. The development of stealth technology also began during the 1970s. All right, so major declassifications in the 1980s to 2000s. The F-117 Nighthawk was 1988. 1989 was the B-2. The 1990s was the F-22 Raptor. 2000 since the B-2 Spirit, that's full stealth. 2015 is the F-35. It was officially revealed to the public after years of development. While key information about its stealth capabilities, sensors, and operational range was still not classified, the aircraft's existence is no longer a secret. 2020. Wow, this is really interesting that this is mentioned in ChatGPT. In a surprising move, the U.S. Department of Defense officially released videos of UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, which were filmed by military pilots. While this is not directly related to traditional aircraft, the declassification sparked major discussion about the nature of advanced aviation technology and whether U.S. military forces were testing new technologies that could be misidentified as UFOs. The 2010s other notable declassification: 2010, the A-12 Avenger II and stealth aircraft, and then 2018, the B-21 Raider. All right, so yeah, that's some interesting shit. I think that
Hell yeah, bro.
like that's cutting edge stuff, and if you know, like a lot of that stuff, we've been developing it like for 2 decades beforehand. So whatever the future may hold is really exciting.
Yeah, but you're right on the space elevator. That's like a good idea.
Oh, Doug, have I never shown you this GIF of it?
No,
Just one moment, I'll show it to you.
send it.
It's phenomenal. Just one
Hey, you
moment.
trying to play chess in the park or
Am I right now? No, but I do play it.
later?
Oh yeah, definitely. Space elevator. Height. We play all those. All right. Um, Let me pull it up. It's in Space Elevator and it's in media. All right. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like uh, if it were in Florida. Let me start from the beginning.
Bro, send it to me in the
Dog. So basically, what this means is that you don't have to use rocket fuel to get to space anymore. You can just literally run this thing up a tether into low Earth orbit, and it's essentially for getting what I'll send this. I normally don't send shit to people. What does it have oxygen in it? You're asking?
Yeah, wouldn't it hurt you? Like, going up that high?
Uh, no. It's like the speed of a very fast elevator, perhaps here on Earth. So you may feel it, but it won't necessarily cause any major body issues. And generally, this is thought for cargo, like when we need to get supplies to people in space. So as I send this to you, just a moment. Yeah, and when you
You think, what year do you think we're gonna have?
absolutely, yeah, definitely. I have videos in the past. I really want the Kuwaiti government to work on it because they have all this
Bro,
money.
I'm pretty sure China's working on it, bro. Russia.
They could be, hey, check out what I just sent you, and you'll see it up close. And it's really cool because you can see the state of Florida and like how fast it would be moving. Now, I don't want to just dismiss a good question that you raised. Yo, dog, could you please tell me what kind of physical effects one could experience or one might anticipate experiencing if one were to use a space elevator? I want you to tell me how fast it would be and compare it to stuff on Earth like a car or an elevator in a really tall building or a plane or however fast people think that it may go. All right, it says a space elevator would be wild, and there are many factors at play that would determine how fast you're going. How fast would we go? A space elevator, in theory, would be a vertical tether that extends from Earth all the way up to a geostationary orbit. So it's like 22,000 miles above Earth. The elevator would be moving with the rotation of the Earth since it's attached to a point in space that rotates with the planet. Speed at the bottom. At the base, the elevator would move slower because you're closer to Earth's rotation speed. Actually, so it's talking about how fast the elevator would be going. I should have asked, what about like the cable car you're in, but that's okay. What physical effects would you feel? Now, what about the ride itself? It's not a regular elevator or a plane ride. Here's what might go down: acceleration, speeding, g forces. You'd experience a gradual acceleration as the elevator climbs. If it's designed properly, the ride would start off gentle with low g forces, forces acting on your body. But as you move higher, you'll be moving faster and you'd start to feel centrifugal forces as the elevator speed increases. This is similar to the heavy feeling in a spinning ride or an amusement park, but way more intense. For example, at the top of the elevator, the speed of travel would be about 10,000 kilometers an hour. Holy shit, that's really fast. That's 6,200 miles an hour. But due to the nature of the structure, the acceleration would likely be smooth. Oh, okay. So reducing any hard G forces. As you climb, the effects of gravity would change. You'd feel weaker gravity as you go higher. The farther up you go, the less gravitational pull you'd experience until you reach zero gravity at the top, essentially orbital velocity, where you feel weightless. This would be a unique experience compared to Earth's normal gravity or even zero gravity of the International Space System, International Space Station, which is microgravity due to continuous free fall. Apologies. Motion sickness. If the elevator were to accelerate quickly, or have sudden jolts, which hopefully won't happen. You might experience motion sickness. However, with a smooth, gradual ascent, this could be minimized as space travel usually doesn't cause nausea like rapid plane or car movements. That's really interesting. That like even though it's way higher, it's like going to be a smoother ride. Atmospheric effects. As you go up, the air pressure would drop, which could cause discomfort similar to flying in an airplane if you don't have a pressurized cabin. You'd likely be in a pressurized cabin for most of the journey, so breathing wouldn't be an issue until you reach higher altitudes. There's cosmic radiation that you'd have to deal with, time dilation, but not so much for you. As you approach speeds nearing the speed of light, which would be a lot higher than what we're talking about, you'd experience time dilation, but it's that's not as fast as you go. So basically, the speed would be going at something like 10,000 miles an hour, but um, that's that's around the Earth. The physical effects seem to be rather minimal, which is tight. What up, G-Man? How you living, Pent?
Hey, motherfuckers.
How you doing? How'd you learn about me, G-Man? We were just talking. We were just talking about a space elevator. Excellent, G-Man. Absolutely? How'd you find out about me, G-Man? G-Man, how'd you find out about me?
What about?
How did you find out about me?
I seen you. Like, well, I myself like to be in a lot of servers. I just kind of jump around a bunch. Like, I like max up good servers.
Same, dog. So you learned about me.
Which one? But
Sure, you learned about me from
we
Discord.
have.
From Discord.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay.
um,
That's okay. So you saw one of my accounts in a Discord. Excellent, G-Man. I'm glad you're here. Do you know much about me? Do you mind if I tell you about myself?
sure, go ahead.
Excellent. I'm Rabbi Rothschild. I stream my life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for world peace. I don't want war anymore. I've been streaming going back to the pandemic. We've seen. Do I remember you? Did I tell you all this? Hold on. Did I tell you all this, G-Man? Okay, so if I. Excellent. So if you came in here before, I. Excellent. Yep. So if you've already been in here, I've told you. Excellent. Well, I'm glad that you're here, my man. Excellent. I like your Luigi. That's tight. Oh, G-Man. G-Man, you changed your name. You changed your name. You were something. What were you earlier? Yeah, G-Man. What was your name earlier? G-Man. What was your name earlier? Has your name always been G-Man?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if it doesn't load, loads the other game, whatever the real name.
I got you. I got you. Absolutely. So how have you been, my man? Oh, yeah. How the fuck could I ever forget about you? Everybody watch what this motherfucker's doing. Caspian Sea, if you can see, this guy does bong hits upside down. It's the most phenomenal thing I've seen on this fucking stream. Word, dog. Oh, how can I ever forget G-Man? Absolutely. I didn't. I fucking remember him better than perhaps anyone. Look how fucking phenomenal this is, kids. It's fucking absolutely bonkers. I remember telling him that literally he could just do trick bong shots as a TikTok and he'd get all kinds of attention. I don't know if he knows he's muted, but he is very, very talented. You're muted, dog. You're muted. There you go. I loved it. I loved every fucking second of G-Man. That was fucking amazing.
Remember? At the end of the round, gotta wake up. So here it is. Get the game. That's so tight. That's so tight. Down. Down right there. Down. The arms. Okay. Hanging in there. Not tapping. Not tapping. Not defending with his arms. Crazy. Not even defending with his arms. He's just using his neck. Yep. I mean, no. You can't say he's out there. Yeah, that's not great. Yeah. If after the round was over, that's how he was out. Like he protested it. Yeah. Playing him. It looked like he was fucking exhausted. Yeah, like there's no way known the guy said it's over and he immediately protested. No way he could have known to protest it. Oh wait. I think all these moments are just trying to resolve. Guys, it was so crazy. Arian Henderson with his tongue hanging out. I was like, I'm so he wasn't just a guy who didn't belong to the cage. He's doing it was a little wrestling. Carrying around like a pillow. Great old. When he had him in the bro, that's a nasty spot. That's a I think the craziest moment like that though, Hamzat picked up. Looking him up right there.
What up, Frosty? We're just watching some Joe Rogan, baby.
That guy's but this guy, he's just knows how to put it on. Body man was so nasty. He did the body before that. Didn't have that video. But he had hurt before this. But he's just fucking accurate.
I hear you. What's going on, Frosty? Frosty, you hear me? I see you.
Real high level stuff. And now guys that have a standard in their head that's way higher than their standard 10, 15 years guys, oh yeah, they're wrestling. Growing up now, completely martial. Like they've always done it. Wasn't that often. You guys check it. And if they check it, turn out and catch it on your foot. I think a lot of what kind of and what going on. You see it. Or you guys throwing a lot. It's so effective. You know what looks like a body combat pro is? That's what about legs all the time? Let's take out some that's correct. Not sure why that's but you can ground for like 10 seconds. You ground pound until you stop. Oh yeah. Ground pound until then you can't break it like right. Can't kick to the side. That's it. That doesn't like what into Justin hated. No, I don't hate it. I think it does nothing. Savage fighter. Like someone or tap or you can't tap Rabbi can't tap to it. I mean, I'm head kick probably worse. I mean, Leon Edwards tomorrow. You ask tomorrow, would you rather take a shot at me or a shot to the head? You might take a shot at me. I mean, I think rather you kick your head. It's horrible fun. Like you have, it's not like you can't play. You have to remember when until first those were John Johnson. John. So yeah, that's a. I mean, you can't really can't that. Like there's always I've had guys guys tell me about bringing crazy questions. I mean, I don't know the head. Well, I'm like, oh, wait, that's the hardest. That's so. I love the sparring match with the guy was getting emotional, and then he's spinning kick it so hard and slaps him. Well, so like, you know, you wear shit pants, but then you're spinning where there's no protection. That's why I love it, right? Face, elbow, shit, fucking skull, right? Got it crazy. This guy, I'm making those. They're not quite. They're not the bottom. They're practice every day. I want to go. Oh, like you get under the fire. A grip. That was like at the store, and she was doing those. I was like, next time, tell me to play. I can't. I can tell you fucking play. You can play. But I'm in a girl with they would ever time clock hours like that Holloway right. But he Holloway
Huh.
fight as an us. I don't remember that first fight. So the reason I asked and the thing about that fight is it looks like it's like you know, block like drinking catches punches which he lay in the ground and he catches rocks then he hits you with the lower right hand and then immediately hits him when he goes to the ground. And I always wonder because that's whole thought like the Marber and original thought of BJ those guys were just wild biometrics and cardio. That's it. They just like you know how to fight. Right. It's gonna give you the most fucking insane gas tank you've ever had in your career. And it's get through this crazy camp of doing box jumps and biometrics and the fucking things they're dealing with. Their energy system. I talk about it. And they have this philosophy that fighter, like a guy like you, a guy like you, that's fight. You know how to fight. You've been there, you've done it. What you really need to do for this camp is prepare for a fight. It's not going to have a fucking insane gas. But emotion, and it's not as something as guys can do with it. You guys have philosophy. God, but God is good.
Huh.
And then there's also but he's like shit. When it comes to willpower, when it comes to like discipline, there's no one like God. But that doesn't matter. You don't with it.
Huh.
Neck muscle, veins that provide all that blood. You're right. I'm gonna cut that off. You can't get all that he needs from a guy like that. You get something, but only at that time was already on a long bosses, the Chandler knockout, he struck him in the epic KO loss, the fight was horrific. He was looking at everybody was calm. And now, that was who's the guy that lifted fires? Right before the fight, he fell and hit his head. Stepped on something like Luke Height.
Huh.
Stepped in the air, banged his head, got knocked out. They tried. Kevin Lee found Kevin. Probably. You gotta remember, Kevin maybe didn't potential, but Kevin didn't choke out. Because that when he knocked out wrestler. Oh, Gregor. That's right. That's right. like Rock Vader. You can't touch it. We just that's why I was just DJ by the like yeah. As far as county in a row. Yeah. Guys like that. So that's the question. Yeah. But that's the thing about fighters. Like whatever that win takes 9 years at your very from your contender to your champion, whatever you do that fucking red line. I think no. I think it's five like 80. Like you made it right now. 5 years structure. And then after also the industry one left over. Yep. That was hard at all. One crazy. Same one you landed right off. Yep. Before you went home next day. Snyder, Chris bottom, Jersey. Why does that? Extra, you know, all again, go gadget, good hook. Guys think it's gonna be also there. Last of his legs. How about being up and up? Bro, I asked about it. Real good fight. Fuck yeah, I can't. I love it. I love a Saturday with the fight. I mean, nobody in that not long. How that's October. Yeah, that's the one. So that's what he thinks. That's the one. Because I see that fight, I go, I don't fucking know. I don't know. A lot of people that count out him fight, and now you're giving him a lot of time to prepare and get ready for this fight. Then how about Wiggers? Armin Petrosky's back on that all. Yeah, that's what fights in the car. They bust out. That's hard on. I know. Basketball, he's stepping away. And it was really it's like a couple days being fucking another right. Yeah. With the guy you know firsthand. Yeah. That's like already been dropped. Oh, that's stuff of legend. Back into the BMFL. What a perfect fight. Perfect fight. Crazy. Right behind him. Natural reaction. Natural reaction. And I know what to do at the moment. That was the best fight I ever saw. I got get down. Gotta stand up. And it I couldn't sit down. I believe I just can't believe that was real. That was wild, man. That was wild. You know, you and this is the Apex. Oh, that's right. No audience, right? And the voice. Think about Max Dude. Yeah, that's on top. The volume of gas. And that power shit too seems to be more powerful than five. That's right. So my question is, how hard is that cut? Plenty of time to time it out. So I think I would not want to see rain at all. Like, no. I saw his brother get like